We've shown you what's inside the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, but now let's talk about what's outside.
The Craft Garden is a really unique space where we focus on growing plants that are used in crafts. For example, our textiles crafts, paper making, dye plants, basket weaving. For the most part, all of the plants here have some sort of functional or use that can be applied to crafts, and we are always interested in experimenting with those plants outside of what normally would be thought of as craft-specific plants as well. This craft garden is the first of its kind associated with a museum or craft center, but I believe there's more now. We're pretty lucky to have volunteers primarily run the garden, so I'm also the volunteer manager, which makes me more of a direct manager of the garden slightly. And we use the plants, for educational purposes, so it's a learning garden. There's signs and descriptions about how the plants can be used traditionally, but also we often harvest a lot of the material in the garden and use it in, for example, Hands on Houston or for workshops. We've taught workshops on dyeing fabrics, so we'll go and harvest from the garden or use it as examples. We do indigo dye, so we do grow indigo right over here. And summer camp, all our kiddos get to come and have lunch here, but they also get to learn about what we're growing here and use the plants in their projects.
Urban Harvest has been around since 1994. We are a nonprofit organization that supports community gardening, and our mission is kind of to help create thriving communities through education, farmers markets, and access to healthy foods. So as you can see, the Center for Contemporary Craft has a garden. It is a community garden, and our goal at Urban Harvest is to help create sustainability with these community gardens. So our role as bringing them into our network is to help this garden withstand the test of time, right? So we resource gardens with plants, fertilizer, resources, volunteer days, really anything the garden would need to stay going when people go. So here at the Craft Garden, one of the things Urban Harvest would help to provide is access for locally grown plants to community gardens. So for example, if the Craft Garden is looking for seeds or some sort of plants that they can't find, Urban Harvest would help them find those and be the middleman to connect them with the grower in the community.
The Craft Garden is open anytime the Craft Center is open, so that would be Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's, for the most part, a community garden, but if you need to use anything in the garden, you can email myself, and that way I can get you access to harvesting specific materials. We don't really want someone to come and wipe out all of our plants in one go, and primarily the materials are used by the artists in residence or by the education department in the craft center, and then given out to the community through art projects or through learning projects in that way.
For ArtBeat, this is Randall Williams.